Today we're going to be presenting on Budweiser's marketing strategies. Budweiser uses commercials to create a more public image. I'm Courtney.
I'm Ronnie.
Cole.
So the first thing I'm going to be talking about is product differentiation using this visual aid.
And that's how you vote.
My king is corn syrup just for the road.
That's not how it is. We don't do Bud Light with corn syrup.
I use corn syrup.
Then let's take it to them at once. Well, if something did happen, it was absurd, right?
That's not our corn syrup. We received our shipment this morning.
You're joking.
Try the Coors Light capsule. They also use corn syrup.
Can you smoke outside? No brewers or Coors Light. Is this corn syrup yours?
Well, well, well. Looks like the corn syrup has come home to be brewed. To be clear, we brew Coors Light with corn syrup.
Bud Light. Brewed with no corn syrup.
All right, so with product differentiation, this marketing campaign started in January when Bud Light, started their campaign by emphasizing their new nutrition facts tab on their box, and now they've moved on to the ingredients portion where they emphasize that they are made with no corn syrup, and versus that of Coors Light and Miller Lite, which uses corn syrup. This is a physical trait. It's most visible. It's on their box. It's being presented as an ingredients factor. And this includes the implementation of the ingredients banner. And then there's the corn syrup argument, which helps to show Bud Light as kind of a good quality beer versus corn syrup, which is seen as artificial and kind of an unhealthier alternative toward their product. So the image differentiation, they're showing their transparency with the implementation of the nutrition banner as well as the commercial. It also characterizes Bud Light as hardworking. They deliver the corn syrup across country and terrain. So this shows this focuses on the branding itself versus the product. So this shows more toward the Bud Light's ability to showcase their brand name versus other companies, so they can overcome the price vulnerability, their vulnerability, because once that price vulnerability is overreached, they can people will buy the product simply because of brand name versus the actual ignoring the actual price.
So when related to the market, Budweiser likes to find unique ways to target each market that it wants to go after. And Budweiser does this by using current events and using a marketing model known as the brand Adam model. But before the brand Adam model was created, the AIDA model, which stands for Awareness, Interest, Desire, and Action, was the foundation for brand campaigns over the past decades. And this was more successful with the older generations than the younger generation. So Budweiser knew that wasn't working, so they decided to adopt the brand Adam model to target younger generations. There are 5 main components that make up the brand Adam model: energy, intrigue, partnership, experience, and meaning. These 5 components have contributed to the success of the marketing of Budweiser. The main goal of these components is not just to sell more products, but to build an emotional relationship towards its consumers. And Budweiser uses the current events to do this. One way that Budweiser tries to relate to the market is through marketing. with the current events, like I said, but they try to target the emotional side through these current events. And an example of this will be the Dwayne Wade commercial, which we'll show you right now. Look at that.
Just like one express.
I have no idea what's going. No idea. How you know, bro?
Pretty good, yourself?
I'm good.
It's been about 12 years since I last seen you. I come from an area where that's been convicted.
My brother Joaquin loved you from the beginning. Joaquin passed away in Parkland. He was one of the 17 victims.
Hey, Mike. How you doing, Mom?
You were the joy of my life, but I was dropping the ball. Dwayne, because you believe in me. When I got out of prison, I was a different mama. When you brought your mama that church, you don't even understand the lives that you changed.
You're the human being that took the time and wrote my brother's name on his shoe.
A lot of the words that you said hit a spark and kind of changed where I was going. I don't have a jersey to trade with you, but I definitely have this. The blazer that I wore to my first shopping.
Joaquin wore this in his last championship. My family wanted you to have it.
One of the special roles that you gave me. You are bigger than basketball.
So, as you can see, this commercial was not about Budweiser's product at all. In fact, Budweiser is not even mentioned in the commercial at all. It was aimed towards making emotional connections with the consumers instead of trying to get them to buy more of their product.
So following up on Cole's emotional contact with the consumer market, in 2018, Budweiser incorporated a cause marketing strategy, which makes the company become more socially responsible. A cause marketing strategy, by definition, is a type of corporate social responsibility in which a company's campaign has a dual purpose, which is increasing profitability for the business as well as bettering society. So in 2018, the Super Bowl commercial that aired, the company steered clear from their signature Clydesdale horses and instead took a more charitable approach. Budweiser has made efforts to halt production in order to provide relief to disaster-stricken areas of the United States after hurricane destruction. Cause marketing has the ability to change perceptions about the use of the product for Budweiser. This strategy has helped cultivate Budweiser's competitive edge with craft beers to develop more authenticity and a better community edge.
So how has this helped Budweiser? As you can see from this graph, Budweiser was in a bit of a dip. It has a beta of 0.82, which says it operates a little bit below the market. As you can see, since the beginning of 2019, they've risen up to almost the point where they've tied the S&P 500, that's the purple line. The blue line indicates Budweiser's rise, and they've always met up with it. So since they aired that Super Bowl commercial, they've gained almost 26% since 2019 when they implemented the nutrition facts label, as well as the implementation of their second part, which was the corn syrup. A week after the Super Bowl aired, Molson Coors Brewing Company stock fell 15%. So this kind of raises an ethical issue. It's a bit of a misrepresentation since corn syrup is not actually used in the beer after it's been fermented and used. It's a factor while it's being brewed. It's sort of like a sugar to cause fermentation, and it doesn't actually get into the product. But its intended effect was to make it seem like Bud Light was more healthy, and its current Miller Coors is currently suing the Budweiser company because of it. It's misleading, and despite it helping their product, it doesn't resonate on an ethical level simply because they're taking jobs at their competitors instead of boosting. They're tearing down their competitors rather than boosting themselves up. So this is an ethical issue in the marketing strategy, and perhaps one that needs to be remedied.